What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews here, back at it again with another video. As you guys probably saw coming, I had mentioned to a couple other people, this is the outside two predictions, obviously with the full card dropping. Good card at that, in my opinion. Probably the best card URL's put out so far in 2023. Excited to see how it goes down. But we have a ton of battles, 2 days worth, that I'm going to be giving all predictions for. Some longer than others, obviously, due to lopsidedness. All really depends on the matchup. And I won't be predicting it day by day. I don't have it separated day one, day two. We're just going to start from the bottom of this picture list of flyers that I got of the battles and just work our way up to the top. So going to start out with some of the lighter battles, the later announcements, and work our way up to those kind of like bigger announcements. And there's a few here that I'm a real fan of as we get to the top of the card. But overall, I think most of this card has a lot of good booking, good style matchups, battles that help both battlers involved. And like I said, I'm just really excited for it. So without further ado, let's hop right into the predictions. Starting from the bottom of the card, first match to talk about is Foots versus Jerry West. Good stylistic matchup, like I talked about. The card is full of that. You have Foots with kind of that animated, you know what I'm saying, type of flow to him, a lot of performance. And Jerry, who, although has never seemed to reach stardom, definitely has qualities of star power in a weird way. Always pulls off haymakers, props. Good performer at that. We saw what he did with Lou Castro on a big stage. Murked Lou, which a lot of people did, you know what I'm saying, going into the last 2 years, but had like a great performance on top of that, right? Funny enough, Foots has also battled Lou, a better version of Lou, not as many chokes and whatnot, no chokes, and got a good win over him as well. So both of these guys have gotten wins on similar comp. Maybe that's how this gets matched up, plus some of the stylistic abilities. Not 100% sure. Some people have critiqued this because they think Foots beats Soul on Volume 10. A lot of people had Foots winning, but you see Souffleur Soul with the big look versus Nitty, which we'll go in detail about when we get there, while Foots is battling someone who's a good name, but kind of like a high mid-tier, not a flat-out top-tier name. Still think it's going to be good rec, although they could have booked Foots up a little bit. And even for Jerry, I think Jerry could have used it. Oh, we don't know, right? It's the outside card. Tiers don't matter here. So those plates could still be coming for them. But I've seen some complaints about the booking. While I still think it's going to be a good battle, I don't think that's totally wrong. But in terms of prediction, makes it very hard because it is going to be extremely good rec both ways. I will say that I expect it to be just flat out debatable for the most part. Both these guys will be motivated to Jerry has some momentum to keep that going. Foots is a new talent. Obviously don't want to take any bumps in the road while developing. So I'm going to go Foots 2-1 edge just because I really believe in his ceiling, what he can do. We haven't fully seen it yet, but I do think that there is potential for top tier somewhere in there. And maybe you get flashes of that, which if good enough, I think can beat a Jerry that isn't going to be the craziest. I think he's going to be solid, but I don't know if he's going to be crazy. So I'm going Foots 2-1 edge, but extremely debatable. Could go either way. From there, you get into Authentic versus Jackboy Main. One of the more random ones in the card, right? Jackboy had a rough 2022, especially considering how good his 2021 was, winning Most Improved Battler of the Year, having to come back, win against Heat-Top in a judge battle. You get to last year, he gets his big stage look versus First Lady Flames, kind of gets smoked. He does have the good chess one-rounder, but then he has the tank battle in New Orleans, which you could debate. Not a good battle whatsoever. And then he was going to have Shime, really unfortunate that his lupus broke out. Even though a lot of us did have him getting body go into that, he should at least have that opportunity. So it's tough. You go from the Shine look to Authentic, who has probably been the least notable guy from his class so far, from the final exams Crucible class. Quite simple. I got Jackboy 2-1-3-0. Motivation could be a factor. It is on a URL card, a pretty, named one at that. There's a lot of names on this outside card, so maybe wants to show out there. Is an app drop. It makes you question the motivation a little bit compared to Authentic, who, although I think is limited maybe in ceiling, definitely is going to apply himself in this battle. But I am going to go with the vet. Jackboy 2-1 in a battle. From there, we can get into Hansel versus Holmesy, just battle after battle. I like Hansel a lot. I think it's good stylistically, where Holmesy has the advantage as a vet. Also a little bit more tailored, great angler, one of the most underrated anglers in the world right now. Hansel, I think, probably has him a little bit on just a straight-up punch-for-punch creativity side, something those young West battlers are always going to have. They got nothing else. They got aggression. They got punchlines. And Hansel's definitely got that, extremely creative. But this is going to be the same venue as Civil War III, where Rum and Fonz, right, Sick and Twerk, things like that. So it is going to be on that more of a stage, which Hansel did good in, but kind of gassed out a little bit. I think that Holmesy's really been killing shit, underrated, has had a very good winning percentage for the most part. And I expect another battle for Hansel where he does good, but Holmesy might just do a little bit better. So right now, I have Holmesy 2-1 clear, but once again, another very good battle and a very good matchup. moving on up, we do have Mike P versus Kid Chaos. I tweeted it. There's gonna be a lot of great technical rapping in this battle. There's a certain crowd in battle rap that loves the intricacies and the little things that go into crafting round structure, pacing, things of that nature, all the technical details. And Mike P versus Kid Chaos is a battle that really personifies all that. Both of these guys take their craft very seriously, always motivated and just have a love for the game, always trying to stretch the abilities of their pen to more creative concept rounds at that, more elongated writing and themes, overall messages. I just think these guys are always trying to push that barrier, and I think versus each other, they're two that have some momentum. I think Mike is really building momentum back up. I think Chaos that lost that battle with Jerry, supposed to be DNA, got subbed out. I think it was a really rough situation for him, and he really didn't get the best of that look. So I think he could really benefit from a win here too after having, in my opinion, we ranked him 20 on the Champion of the Year. I thought he'd be a little bit higher than that, but you know what I'm saying? He did make the list nonetheless, a top 20 finalist. I think he wants to bounce back and really get up there, maybe top 15, maybe top 10, start beating some vets, and to get back to those vet plates, you got to start a little bit of a winning streak here. So when both these guys are motivated, both have similar things that they're great at, and both really could use a win, you could get a sleeper contender for Battle of the Night here. Extreme, not my pick for Battle of the Night, but if it was, it reminds me of like Sheet and Chaos. It's that dark horse pick. I can see it playing out very similar to that battle. I am going to go Mike 2-1 edge, just because I believe in what Mike's been doing recently. I think the Sharon battle was a real big confidence boost for him. He's saying that he hasn't lost since Geechee. I had you losing to Chilla, big dog, not gonna lie, kind of clear. Outside of that, though, I do think that there is some truth to that, and I think you have been good, and I think that right here versus Chaos, I think it's going to be debatable. I think the best situation for them is a really high-quality, debatable battle that is a plus for both of their stocks. But if I had to pick a winner, I like what Mike's been doing a little bit more. He's kind of reached some runs before where he's went up to gnomes and things like that. And I kind of foresee a good year for Mike like that, where he gets a couple vet plates that he wants after a little bit of a winning streak. I think this could factor into that, so I'm going Mike P 2-1 edge. From there, we can get into Snake Eyes versus Coffee. Aggressive ass battle, no question. Little mini grudge building up there. Stylistically, neither of them are the crazy. I think Coffee better on the pen heavy side. I don't think either of them are extremely pen heavy like that. Although that they would probably disagree by the way they talk about their styles. But I think the aggression, kind of the real talk and delivery, is what really makes people attracted to these talents. Snake Eyes has a little bit more on the rapping ability side, I'd say. But I think this is kind of a perfect setting for Coffee. Just a few hundred people at that big stage. Got to her a little bit, but I still think she fought through it. I think if you go from there, probably down in comp from Twerk to Snake Eyes, down in stage size. And Snake Eyes, even whether he does good or bad, his winning percentage isn't always the best. So for those reasons, I'm going to go Coffee Brown 2-1. Just think that she's going to connect with a couple more haymakers. Just say a little bit more that the crowd wants to hear. A couple less dry spots. I don't think it's going to be the craziest battle on the card. Could be a little closer to mid, to be honest with you. But I'm going with Coffee 2-1 going in. And then from there, we get into the main event of day 2. I don't have the cards lined up, but I remember the main events, and that would be New Jersey Twerk versus Chef Trez. Twerk is on a spree, man. He is just taking anyone. Next and Coffee, and then he was supposed to battle T-Top. He's got Chef Trez here, a battle OG Grizzly on bullpen for the one-rounder, and he was great in that. It's just a different level of motivation, and it's really hard for me to pick anyone against him right now. I think Chef is really just came off a career win, in my opinion, versus John Don. I think it's good to book him versus another guy. That's still a good plate for him. This is a great look for Chef, but it's a tough look for Chef, and that's just what this game is about. If you want to get to the highest, you're going to get in some situations where you got to perform better than what is expected of you. And what I expect is a good Chef Trez, but just an explosive, masterful Twerk like we've been seeing, and I have Twerk 2-1 clear in a very good battle. Now, as you see, we're moving into the top half of the card. Next is JC versus Klutz. I'm interested in this one just because I saw Klutz on the DNA Get Money Drink Water show, and I loved the way that he was talking shit. This is an impossible scenario on paper for him. He's got one true battle on the brand, right? That's Loso, which we had him losing, although he was decent in that. And you go from Loso to JC. JC in a room of 400 to 500 is about as dangerous as JC's going to get. I think it's funny because he's a pen, right? That's what JC gets classified as. So people don't really want to acknowledge the adaptations and how guys change over time. They do the same thing in basketball, right? If a guy's a good defender for a season, starts slacking the next 2 seasons, he'll just have that reputation for being good. People won't adapt to what they're watching. And with JC, I think that's a perfect example. JC's been considered the small room guy. Oh, but if it's JC in a small room, and if you really look at what JC's been doing the last few years, regardless of the surf loss or not, he has just been better on a big stage. He slowed his pace down. That every letter trying to get bars that we all agree aren't the craziest overhead bars, not the most intricate, but he's like feeding it to the crowd. And there's that aura of like, I'm the best, I know. And a lot of us don't like it. A lot of people do like it, and that's why it worked. That's why he was able to win with battles that mostly had crowds. That's why he beat the Shugs and the Reds on stages of that nature. And I could go on and on to give examples, but when you get to like 1,000 plus, I think you start to see him struggle a little bit more, especially versus guys with star power. But he's facing a rookie who is Klutz has an amazing pen, by the way. Really extremely witty, extremely clever. There's a lot of things I love about his pen. But he's lacking, he said himself, the presence, the other parts of the game he's lacking. This is his second fucking battle versus a vet. And he's taking JC in a room of 400 where that slow down style works perfect. I really hope Klutz does good. I have some weird feeling where Klutz could win. I know it sounds crazy, but I do think that he really writes intricate shit and could say some amazing stuff. And if you loop enough amazing stuff, anyone can win a battle on any given day. But due to the situation, the presence, the setting itself, how early it is for him, I have no choice but to go with JC 3-0. I hope I'm wrong, Klutz. I hope that little feeling I have is right, and I can come back and say I made the wrong prediction, if that makes any sense. But I can't. I think it would be disrespectful to go against JC. And on the return, gotta go JC 3-0, man. From there, we get into T-Top versus Truffaut. I'm not the happiest about this one. I think that Truffaut, even though we're going to see very soon, had a really rough performance versus Av. And I think the Geechee win was great, man. I think it was a great judge win. It was even at the debatable versus O-Red in this exact setting. So it's not hopeless, but I just think he's taken a lot of losses. You add in the royalties, the capitals, the MacMells, the in-between stuff like that. The body loss to sheet happens. There's just a lot of losses here, and he keeps getting vets. I think Truffaut's good. He's given us flashes of that. But if you give anyone enough chances, man, of course they're going to get flashes. And I think there's a lot of people that haven't been choking, haven't been losing their battles. It's been more consistent, having peaks like Foe, because Foe has great peaks, but a lot of other great battlers do, that could have battled T-Top in this card. Gatekeeper T-Top, though, told you guys in my last few videos about him. I want to see T-Top as a gatekeeper, and he's doing just that, so I can't be too mad at it. I would like to see some different guys get the opportunities, but you can't be mad at the vet. He's just given the shot and given what's in front of him. With that being said, I got T-Top 2-1, if not 3-0 clear versus Truffaut. He was good versus Red in this setting. I will give him that. But I think T-Top's a little bit more on the strategic side, and Foe comes off as someone, to me, while he is very good, the one-liners, when you write down some of the stuff, there's some great haymakers in there. The structure is lacking, and I think that kind of adds in the choking. Some of the dry spots that he has, because he's kind of going through a bunch of topics without real transitions. I just think T-Top's a lot more polished right now, and due to recent performances, I'm going to have to go with T-Top 2-1, if not 3-0 clear. And that leads into this last stretch of 3 battles. Trying to give my opinions on all of them. Obviously, there's a lot of battles here, so it's not the most organized. But the battle I'm personally looking forward to, these next 2 battles are crazy to me, but my battle of the outside card pick, O-Red versus Fonz. Now, for those of you that have been watching for a minute, I do the Book'em series here where I talk about the best matchups for a battler, blase, listing how I want to see them battle, right? Fonz was my number 1 pick for Fonz when I did this Book'em was fucking O-Red, man. This is a battle that's been booked and unbooked like 3 or 4 times. O-Red is always great against punchers. Fonz is looking for people to test his pen against and just build up vet wins to become a top tier, further rise his stardom. And look at what we got here, man. O-Red versus Fonz. I think this room is perfect, too. Just enough people where, I saw O-Red perform. No loss of the voice, nothing like that. Did good in this setting versus Foe. Fonz is better than Foe, but that doesn't change the fact that his content was good. And Fonz was just incredible in this setting. What I will say is the one thing that's not making me go Fonz clear, like just Fonz winning, is O-Red's performance rate versus punchers. Although he wasn't in his prime, O-Red has a clear win against Nitty with a choke at that, right? Av versus O-Red, I personally edge O-Red that battle. It's somewhat debatable, but even with the choke in that battle, a lot of people love what O-Red did in that. Big K, he absolutely demolished Big K. And at a time that Big K, I think Big K for the most part has been a respectable opponent, but although he wasn't great in that battle, that was a time that it was not easy to beat Big K like that. He did get killed by Dandy, shit happens. Also beat B-Magic. So I just think he has a pretty good record against the punchers for the most part. Still going to go Fonz 2-1 edge. I think he has a lot of confidence. I think the Mac battle gave him a lot of confidence. I think he's shooting at Shug, kind of called John out. I think he's ready for all these big-time vet plates, even talked to Twerk. And I think that he kind of beat some demons, like I'll state over and over, when the Rum Nitty battle turned out good. He was supposed to really lose that bad. That turned out to be a great look for him, great debatable, high-quality, battle of the year type of look. and I think he's just a whole completely different guy since then. I'm going to go Fonz 2-1 Edge in my battle of the card pick, and I'm very excited to see what these gentlemen do. My second favorite battle on the card, Bill Collector versus Sheed, happens. It does not get better than this. They've been building this up for Sheed for a while. Him battling Bill, the unorthodox rapping styles against each other. I really couldn't pick a winner. This is, if I had a 2-1 either way to pick, man, this would really be the one. This is extremely hard for me to see it going in either direction just because both of them have so many reasons to win. Bill's been good on the brand so far. Would love to get like a signature win since his returning contract. I know maybe JC after that. This plate's out there for Bill, and this would be a big momentum builder for the start of 2023. As for Sheed, I mean, this is his shot. This is that plate. This is what T-Top was to Swamp, what T-Rex was to Easy. You know what I'm saying? When you build up to a certain plate, you've been calling out. So I'm going to have to edge the vet on the first pick. Might change as we get closer to the event, but I have to have that respect for Bill and what he's been doing. The Devil Bar Bill, the pace he's been rapping at, the steps he's taking with his pen. But I think this could also, I have O-Red and Fonz my pick, but this could be battle of the weekend. It would not shock me, and there's classic potential on this battle. And that leaves us with the main event of day one, Rum Nitty versus Souffleur Soul. Not going to take up as much time because I have already done a video giving my thoughts on this if you want to go back a couple and watch that. But stylistically, Souffleur Soul, I think one day could be a problem for Nitty, right? He is the real talk that he does in there, substance to his punching, good gritty performance, can connect with the crowd on more than a pen level, but has a pen. These are things that will match up good for Nitty. If it wasn't like his third battle on the brand, I just think it's too early for him. I don't even have to explain how good Nitty's been rapping recently. Plus, he said he's going to really play with the flow switches in this battle and change up the pace, I just think this is tough. Souffleur Soul, I think you're going to do good, but I think you're going to lose possibly Gentleman's 30 to just a great version of one of the best in the world. And that is it, guys. That are my full predictions for Outside 2. Actually, one more battle. Swamp versus Stumbles wasn't announced on the sheet. I know it was announced on the side. I have Swamp winning that 3-0. I think Stumbles is good. I think there's potential for a good battle there. Might even be Swamp 2-1. But I just don't think Stumbles puts... There's a reason that we've been giving Stumbles this credit, but he doesn't put it together enough to actually, win these battles. The man just lacks structure, and I don't know if he's going to gain that. Guess this would be a good battle to show. I don't really know if he fully deserves this battle after some of the losses he's taken. But they want to push him, so... Swamp, I know, wants better plates. I don't know if this is really a step in that direction, especially after the wins he's been getting. It's a little disrespectful, but, who am I? Maybe he took the battle. Maybe he's not as pissed. I'm not even pissed about it if he's not pissed about it, but I've been seeing Swamp bitch about a little bit about, the plates. He's not getting the plates he deserves. That some of the top tiers, some of those big looks, he wants to be pushed like a star, treated and pushed like a star, and I agree with him, you know what I mean? But so for that reason, I think he cleans this one up, similar to the clean battle where he's not crazy, but he's just good and covers the spread. And that is all the full predictions for the card. I forgot that one at the end because it got announced on Instagram, not a trailer. But love the card, love the matchmaking. Bill Collector and Sheed happens, O-Red and Fonz, classic potential written on it. You have good in between battles, the Mike P. Chaos, the Foots and Jerry West, even the JC and Klutz. You have shots being given. Got a Rhetoric and Chef Trez is just in there. You have so many good battles all over the place. You're going to see the Crucible talents, mid-tiers that don't get booked often, top tiers popping out. This is what people ask for. They say they don't want to see the same names on Smack over and over, and I think the Outside card really does a good job of mixing it up. Another tweet that I had that I feel strongly about is it reminds me of, the better days of Born Legacy. Born Legacy, not 1, because that had a bunch of superstars, but Born Legacy, 2 to, 6. One was just good rec on every card. All those cards, where it was a mix of top, mid-tier, and bottom-tier names, and it was all just good matchups. It just brings back that energy, so hopefully they don't drive Outside into the ground like they did in Born Legacy, but I do like what they're doing so far. I'm a really big fan of the matchmaking, and I can't wait for these to start dropping on the app, because I will definitely be reviewing more than a few of these. I think there's a lot of battles here that are going to be great footage, and it's going to make for great dialogue to talk about. But it's been J Small Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below, what is your favorite battle on the Outside 2 card that you're looking the most forward to? I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.